So let's talk more on what happened today in court regarding Ezekiel Kelly. ABC 24's Desmond Nugent reports why Kelly will never walk free again.
For the first time, Ezekiel Kelly displayed emotion during his guilty plea. He will be serving 3 life sentences on top of 221 years in prison.
You can't see yourself. You have lost yourself. Only way you can find yourself is through God.
It was this message from Aubrey Miller, the brother-in-law of Richard Clark, one of the victims in the 2022 shooting spree across Memphis caused by Ezekiel Kelly. Reality set in for Kelly and tears began to fall.
I acknowledge that there's nothing I can say to him. He did it for the victim, for the victim family. But I believe that it's all about where do I go from here.
That's the satanic move that you want to go out there to do something wrong. Better talk to him.
What it do, Go Crew? It's your boy Sweat, or the Earth Shifted, coming back with another video, man. In this video, I'm gonna be going over a thin line. It's a very, very thin line between being evil and pure stupidity. Now, a lot of people seem to get this confused. You know, when people say I'm on demon time, when people are crash outs, there's a thin line I've noticed throughout all my time. There's a very thin line between being truly evil and stupidity. And all of this really resides in duality. As above, so below. So, example one that I want to give of the stupidity side of the thin line. It's a very thin line between being evil and stupidity. And the first example we have is crash outs. Okay, we see this all the time, especially on social media. I'm gonna crash out. We see it in the news. Someone crashed out and did this, and now they're crying. Okay, now they crying in the courtroom. Now they crying in the interrogation room. And I'm gonna get into that right now. Now, a lot of people are led by emotion. Okay, lots of people are led by emotion. And some of that is due to not having emotional intelligence. And I think true evil people are truly intelligent, you know. Example I'm gonna give of a true evil person real quick is maybe a serial killer, okay? I know it's a little dark and grotesque, but it's the best example I can give you. Let's take Jeffrey Dahmer for example, okay? Say what you want about serial killers. Say what you want about how disgusting they are, okay? But for someone to get away with murdering over at least 30 people, don't you think they have to be some type of intelligence to come up and devise these plans and not have the police on their tail to keep going and of all dodge karma? These people have to be some sort of intelligent, okay? Now, jumping back to the stupidity side of a crash out, okay? Let's say someone gets mad, something happens, maybe it involves a woman. Those are the main examples of a crash out. They go do something. They go spin the block on a party or some shit, and they light that bitch up. They kill 3 people, okay? There's actually an example. There was this guy that went around, and I can't remember the state, but he went around and he shot like 3 people. He went into an auto zone. He shot like some innocent guy or something. And I seen that, you know, he was hit with like 200 something years. And the guy was in the courtroom crying. He was crying. I'm like, bro, are you serious? And I read the comments and everybody was like, anyways, I graduated this today. Everybody was laughing because it was so crazy how you could do something and then cry about it. How could you take 3 lives? You know, at the time he was like, oh yeah, I'm on this, I'm on that. And now you in the courtroom crying. It makes no sense, you know? And that's stupidity. They were led by emotion. You know what I'm saying? And another side of that could be like snitches. You know what I'm saying? You'll do something and then get in that interrogation room and start crying once you realize you have to face the consequences of your action. You'll start crying when you realize that, damn, I might be locked up for life. Damn, I might get the death penalty. A true evil person will get in that courtroom and he's gonna give a damn. You know what I'm saying? That is the basic examples I can give you right now. Now, what makes an evil person truly evil? In my opinion, it touches back on this duality, and that is knowing love, okay? If you know love, if you know what love can do for you, and you still choose to be evil, do you know what I'm saying? If you know love exists, and you still choose to be evil, I feel like that is a true evil person. A person who knows the value of love. A person who's explored both sides of it. That's why it's important that you don't judge someone and take someone's kindness for weakness. Because I feel like just as good as a person is, it's just as evil as that person can be. Because they know what they're capable of. They know the thoughts inside of their head. That's why they choose to be good. You know what I'm saying? You know, now I'm a person that, you know, I'm like in the middle. I'm really working on balance, but I noticed that I try my best to fit in amongst people. I try my best to look normal. You know what I'm saying? I try my best to look stable and normal, so I don't be a threat to people. I don't like being a threat to people. You know what I'm saying? And then you have some people out here who try their best to look unstable, but they're really normal. You know? And it's really something that most people take for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't explored that dark side. You know what I'm saying? They're still naive to true evil. You know?
Power off.
And one last thing I want to touch on here is free will. What you choose to do with your free will. You know, if someone knows how powerful they truly are and the great importance of their free will, and still decides to use that free will to enact evilness on the world, you know. And what can we even define as evil? What is good or bad? You know, honestly, sometimes it is subjective what evil is, what good or bad is. What may be evil to one person may be fine to another person. You know what I mean? And I think a big part of that has to play with location. Honestly, if you want me to talk about America in a whole, I feel like America, we are so soft. In my opinion, we are spoiled. You know, we have been babied, we have been coddled. We don't know the true dangers of this world. You know, you step outside this country, you go to a third world country, you go run your mouth in a third world country if you want to. And I bet you go break a rule over there that can fly in America. Go break a rule over there. I bet you they'll be beating you in the street with a 2x4, cutting every limb off your body. You know, I can get into it. Gets that dark over there. Take Haiti, for example. I've seen countless videos of them just dissecting people in the middle of the street, man. Dissecting them finger by finger, limb by limb, organ by organ. It's truly vile, the nature outside of this country, America. And that's why I say we're very, very spoiled. And honestly, we should be more grateful that we live in a country that, you know, has emotional intelligence and has God in it. You know, it has God in it. There's some places that are truly forsaken. There's a thin line between being evil and just plain dumb. You don't think at all. You know, you're led by emotions. And that's up to you to decipher. That's why balance is key in this world, man. And it's important that you have discernment and notice when evil is around you. You know, it's important that you protect yourself, especially in these end times. People are going insane, okay? You can see it. Whether it be from economic stuff, whether it be from financial crisis. A lot of people are bending over to the evil that is in this world right now. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys for watching.